You're listening to Thursday Night AMP on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
AngryMarks.com pro wrestling and mixed martial arts podcast, where it's a good thing to not get deep. My name is Stevie J. I've got two co-hosts on the line tonight. Let me start out with the lead writer and jack of all trades for Top Rope Press, the wonderful and talented Abby.
Yeah, don't forget pharmaceutically enhanced tonight, so I don't have a nervous breakdown.
So, your pharmacy dealer isn't Richard Rodriguez, right?
No.
We'll get into that in a minute, but before we do, let
that
me introduce...
That shit would be expired anyway.
That's probably true, but Great Sudoku, a.k.a. Jason Harlan, is also on the line.
And folks should have known that the curb stomp had been unbanned long before Monday Night Raw aired, because the Jacksonville Jaguars did that to my Pittsburgh Steelers over 24 hours before Raw ever aired.
You know, I think the Minnesota Vikings also did that to the New Orleans Saints.
Wasn't quite a curb stomp, but that was a fantastic finish.
That has to be the best finish to an NFL playoff game I've seen in years.
And I love the meme with Stone Cold just stunnering the defender there.
I love the fact that the local Minneapolis play-by-play guy for the radio station there is, like, viral because his call was better than the one live on television.
They tend to be that way, yeah. The local radio guys tend to get a lot more animated and excited than your national TV broadcasters.
Yeah, and this guy was totally losing his shit. He's screaming, "It's the Minneapolis Miracle!"
Like Nogami levels of losing his shit?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. This was Nogami levels of losing his shit.
Damn.
Speaking of which, Fantastica Mania. I'm sure Abby has a few things to say about that.
Yes, that starts tomorrow morning at 4:30 a.m., as we like to call it, 8 o'clock. I don't really know. To me, this Fantastica Mania does not, or at least this first show from Corkin, doesn't sound as good to me as some of the ones in the past.
Yeah, the card doesn't
And I don't know why,
Go ahead.
I've got the card in front of me, and it's Fuego is starting the show, so that's going to be good, because he's always fun, against Akamura. You've got the Black Cat Memorial match that has Kawato, who will be leaving on excursion to CMLL after this show, and it makes me so sad. Poor Little River people. Star Jr., Dragon League, and Cozy against Bushi, Takahashi, Naito, and Rush. I can give two shits about Rush. Next match is Drone, Volador Jr., Mystico, and Atlantis versus Disturbio, Puma, Barbaro, Cavernario, who is Jason's favorite, and Ultimo Guerrero. So
we've got Cavernario and Ultimo Mullet on the same team.
How many tweets have y'all sent to Cavernario this week?
I'm slacking. I need to start tweeting them that, I clip my toenails and whatnot.
We have the CMLL World Middleweight Championship, Angel Del Oro against Cuatrero. I used to be able to speak Spanish. Cuatrero. The National Welterweight Championship, Sabernero Jr. versus Sanson. And the main event is the CMLL World Lightweight Championship with Niebra Roja versus Gran Guerrero. To me, this just doesn't sound like a great card. I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure it'll be good, but I was expecting more than just, Los Ingobernables on here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like a good card for a hardcore CMLL fan, maybe not so much for a hardcore New Japan fan.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, Saturdays and Sundays shows will be better. I haven't looked at the cards for them yet, but supposedly other people are joining the tour on Saturday and Sunday.
Aren't they doing something weird with the CMLL guys, like having a tag team tournament or something?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, there's not a show on Saturday. Let's see, on Sunday. I just want Shaw Jr., Disturbia, Brown, Puma, Taguchi, and Schwago will be teaming up again. The Soulmates are back together.
They should just be a permanent tag team.
I know. They'll be up against Roppongi 3K. Yeah, there's more people back on Saturday, on Sunday show. I think Monday show there's going to be even more.
Well, that's good, because maybe by Sunday I'll actually be able to watch, because Saturday I've got 3 MMA shows. I've got one fighting in the morning.
There's no show on Saturday.
Well, that's ironic, but anyway, I've got one fighting in the morning, I've got Bellator in the evening, and simultaneous to Bellator 192, UFC 220 is also taking place.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's going to be a crazy day for me, and I've got a friend coming in from out of town, and I somehow have to find time to go to lunch during all of this.
Oh, just wait till it's Royal Rumble weekend, and I think we've got 8 shows.
Yeah, I'm already ditching about 4 or 5 of those. I feel like if I can get to NXT TakeOver and the Royal Rumble itself, that's probably all I can do.
And you got 2 Rumble matches to watch. It's going to be twice the fun.
I know. It's going to be like a 6-hour-long show.
Oh, God.
You got to figure each Rumble is going to go, like, at a minimum, 45 minutes, an hour?
Yeah, especially the Women's Royal Rumble has to go an hour now. Otherwise, people are going to say it's sexist, it's unfair, they didn't get as much time.
I think that's why they moved the U.S. title match from the Rumble to SmackDown this week.
Speaking of which, I know you hate his theme song, but how do you feel about Bobby Roode being the U.S. champion?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, I think it's a good spot for him to be in. I mean, he's a good wrestler. He's a good talent. He's got all the charisma of a can of paint and the most god-awful music in wrestling, but he's a good wrestler. So, I think it's a good place for him to be.
And for those of us who were fans of him from his Impact Wrestling days all the way through his NXT days, this feels like fan service. This is like, okay, you wanted Bobby Roode in WWE on the main roster. Here's what we're going to give you. It may not get any better than this, but this is what you get.
Hey, at least he's holding the belt, unlike some guys like Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe.
Well, has Shinsuke appeared on any milk cartons lately?
You know what? Nakamura is the odds-on favorite to win the Men's Royal Rumble.
Which means Roman Reigns is winning, of course.
Well, and Daniel Bryan is the number 3 favorite.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I really want to talk about that. The people that are placing bets on Daniel Bryan are fools, and they're being parted with their money. Nobody should be placing bets. I mean, even to consider that Daniel Bryan would win the Royal Rumble when he's not medically cleared to wrestle is the height of insanity.
Even for them to consider he would be in the Royal Rumble, much less win it.
Exactly. That's never going to happen. Not in a million billion
No.
years.
These are the same people who are betting on Paige to win the Women's Rumble.
And, yeah, that's equally unlikely because much like Daniel Bryan, she is no longer medically allowed to wrestle.
Sad situation.
Yeah, but
there.
with her, unlike with that is a weird situation because they said nothing. She's still on television. She's still leading her little faction. And she's posting these cryptic tweets, with 2018 will be her year and pictures of her in the ring. And
the comeback is greater than the fall. That's another one she said.
Yeah, it's weird, especially when you look at the footage of the move that supposedly took her out.
Well, there's two schools of thought on that. One is that Sasha actually threw a stiffer kick than what it looked like, and the other is that it's not whether or not it was stiff, it was just that it hit at exactly the wrong spot.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter because I'm not talking about Sasha, I'm talking about Paige. She got up and fell down, got up and fell down. She couldn't stand up.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so, it's kind of
her
like...
surgeon did tell her not to wrestle again. She kind of went against medical advice there.
Exactly.
But WWE cleared her, so that's the boggling part. If it was that serious that her doctor told her not to, then how did WWE ever clear her to come back?
Because she's not Daniel Bryan.
The same way exactly, the same way that every doctor has said Daniel Bryan is fine, but WWE doctors won't clear him.
Yeah, there's
something fishy going on.
Thank you. That's the words I was looking for. Fishy. It's like you can clear a guy who's got no symptoms of his concussions. You can't clear that guy, but you can clear Paige, even though she has a neck like a fragile eggshell at this point. Whatever.
Exactly.
Same doctor who said Trump was 6'3" and 239.
Oh, are you part of the girther movement?
As someone who is overweight and deals with mental health issues, I do not care if you fat shame or be ableist toward that idiot in the White House. Have at him.
All right, but we're not getting into politics tonight. That's not why we're here. So
no, we're just talking about doctors that make shit up.
Yeah.
We're talking about doctors that are questionable, and yeah, Paige is certainly one, and any of the WWE doctors that would clear Paige, but not Daniel Bryan. Yeah, they are political. We'll keep it on that political level.
Well, what's even more questionable is this guy from the gym in Miami, Richard Rodriguez, claiming that he sold steroids to Roman Reigns with absolutely no evidence to back that up whatsoever.
Nah, that's not really the story. The story is he was part of a ring that illegally imported supplies from China.
Well,
created,
he was busted for that.
Manufactured illegal steroids in Arizona and then sold them in a drug ring in the Miami area.
Right, at his gym in Miami. Go on.
Yeah, well, it was more than the gym. It was a whole, ring that the gym was included in.
Right.
And the thing is, it all happened in the 2016 time frame when Roman Reigns got his wellness policy violation. Everybody said at the time that it was Adderall, but I'm not saying it happened. I'm not saying he did it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. But the time frame fits. The area fits.
Mm-hmm. Except to me, this
is a guy... The pieces of the puzzle fit. But the guy that's saying it...
is not credible.
Doesn't fit.
No. He's saying this just to try to get some sort of rub off it. Like, I've already been convicted, but here, maybe if I give some names like Mark Wahlberg and Roman Reigns, maybe somebody will cut me a deal.
Well, Mark Wahlberg, Josh Duhamel, they're not the only ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm just saying that the time frame fits and a lot of the puzzle pieces fit.
If the guy saying it was more credible, I'd have an easier time believing it.
I'll just say this, a vest is a good way to cover up back knee.
Yeah, well, why didn't somebody get Jinder Mahal one then?
They damn well should have.
He needs to wear one of those long Indian robes to the ring and wrestle in it.
Well,
like the Iron Sheik used to wear.
He could have just used it to pitch a tent and go somewhere else, because I didn't need to see him twice on SmackDown.
Oh. He makes me uncomfortable on so many levels, not just looking at him. That's bad enough, but he makes me uncomfortable. I don't like seeing him on my television.
He's just not a good talent. He's never been anything other than enhancement level in terms of his wrestling ability.
Yeah, like the third man in 3MB.
Exactly. And that whole part of 2017 where he was the world champion is best forgotten and left in 2017.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe our favorite statistician, Mookie Ghana, has conclusively proven that SmackDown ratings are up ever since AJ Styles became the world champion.
Yes, they are.
Which is very interesting, because when AJ Styles won the IWGP Championship, that's what got me interested in New Japan and got me to eventually pay for New Japan World, and AJ Styles is SmackDown's champion now, and they give away their TV for free, and I can't even be bothered to watch.
Well, maybe you'll
Well, that's because you just hate everything.
I don't hate Gabara Cavernario.
Well,
Jason, that's only because he responds to your tweets.
I don't hate Ultimo Guerrero.
That's because you like to make fun of his hair.
If I may interject here, Jason, will you at least give the Royal Rumble a chance to see his match with Owens and Zayn?
I will, yes, though if the two matches I'm hearing are rumored for WrestleMania's main event and semi-main, I may not watch.
Well, there are many rumors right now, but the one that I currently favor is Nakamura wins the Royal Rumble and challenges AJ.
I've heard that Cena and Undertaker is going to happen, and that Brock and Roman is going to happen. And if those are the two main and semi-main, I will not watch WrestleMania. I will not watch any of it.
I'd say there's a better than 80% chance that Cena versus Undertaker gets booked on the Raw 25th anniversary.
Yeah, that's when they're saying they're starting the angle is on the 25th anniversary show for that match.
Mm-hmm. Which leads us to our next topic. Who's in and who's not for next Monday? Because we're getting all kinds of updates every single day about the list of stars that have been contacted for the show.
Okay, I got the full list right here.
Let's have at it.
The hand may young give birth to.
WWE today announced MVP Harvey Whippleman, Howard Finkel, and William Regal. The rest of the names are Lillian Garcia, Jonathan Coachman, Mark Henry, Christian, the Hardys, Trish Stratus, Chris Jericho, which is still I'm not real sure about. The Brooklyn Brawler, why he's there, I don't have any clue.
To get lost in Brooklyn.
Jackie Moore, Terry Reynolds, Tori Wilson, Maria Kanellis, Michelle McCool, Kelly Kelly, Mean Gene, Eric Bischoff, Teddy Long, The Godfather, Brother Love, The Boogeyman, Sergeant Slaughter, John Laurinaitis, Sean Waltman, Ted DiBiase, and they put in quotes, free agent John Cena. Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, Scott Hall, Ric Flair, the Bella Twins, the APA, JBL and Ron Simmons, the Dudleys, which is odd to me since Bubba is has a contract with Ring of Honor.
That's because they're going to go into the Hall of Fame. That's a whole deal.
Yeah, I know. I've already got that list out there too.
They brought in Dixie Carter for that Kurt Angle thing. That shouldn't surprise you at this point.
Steve Austin and DX, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and the New Age Outlaws. I don't know why they didn't include, well, I don't know. Well, Kevin Nash isn't going to be there because of his knee.
Right, surgery on his knee.
Yeah.
And Bret Hart isn't going to be there because he's seeing his hand surgeon in Calgary on Monday.
What do you want to bet Bret Hart wasn't even invited?
I bet he was. I'm pretty sure he was. That guy is a fundamental part of Raw. If you're going to celebrate 25 years of Raw and not include Bret Hart, you're not celebrating anything. For that matter, Mick Foley, same thing, but Foley doesn't want to be there. He's invited and he doesn't want to come.
Why?
He thinks that the way he was written off television with Stephanie McMahon firing him, it doesn't make sense for him to just come back and be all happy to be there.
Yeah, that's true. If she emasculated me like that, yeah, I wouldn't want to come back either.
Yeah. He might be the last person left who still believes in kayfabe, but good on him.
Oh, lordy.
And let's see.
But yeah, the big speculation is Jericho. Will he or won't he?
Dave Meltzer insists that he will be.
It will be interesting if he does, because he's already talking about doing something with, New Japan and having like a Brock Lesnar schedule with them.
Yeah. He's going to work big shows, big dates.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah, but he put on a good performance. I did not hate Chris Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom. He put on a great performance. I wouldn't mind seeing him taking on some of the current New Japan roster and help get them over.
Yeah, I believe he's going to have matches with Naito and Tanahashi, among others.
I really wasn't sure he came out and it was all fine, and then Kenny Omega came out and I'm like, what the fuck are you supposed to be? I mean, it looked like he was dressed up in cardboard boxes. I didn't know what the hell it was.
Stargate Omega. It was some video game, but yeah, he looked like he was straight out of Stargate SG-1.
Well, you don't want to talk about people dressed up in cardboard boxes with me right now, because that's Nintendo's entire Nintendo Direct this week, was making toys out of cardboard boxes.
Oh, Lord. Let's get back to Kenny Omega, because he signed a new contract with New Japan last week that will take him through July 31st of 2019.
Yes.
So he is out for this year's Rumble. He is out for next year's Rumble. People, please shut the fuck up and leave him in peace. Okay? Let the man have a year where you're not hoping he shows up in WWE for every pay-per-view every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Leave him alone.
It's not going to happen at the Rumble. It's not going to happen at SummerSlam. It's not going to happen at Survivor Series. Just get over it.
Oh.
Yeah.
AJ Styles topped the list of Pro Wrestling Illustrated top wrestlers of 2017.
Deservedly.
Yes, deservedly. Very deservedly. Let's see.
He made the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame, did he not?
This year?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year.
Yes, he did. Let's see. Impact Wrestling keeps losing stars.
Yep,
EC3.
Lashley's gone.
EC3's gone.
Lashley's gone. EC3's gone. Laurel Van Ness is gone.
Well, she was gone a month ago, but she stayed for the tapings.
Yeah. Bill Goldberg has been announced as the first official inductee into the Hall of Fame.
Which, allegedly, he will be inducted by Paul Heyman.
What the fuck?
That makes sense, yeah, because Paul Heyman and Goldberg crossed paths so many times.
Well, I'm assuming the idea is because of Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar and all the Heyman promos about Goldberg. That's probably where they come up with that.
ECW original Goldberg.
Well,
that makes no sense.
All I can say is Heyman put him over pretty strong in the promos building up to that Goldberg-Lesnar match, so...
I mean, I guess if they're using that Jim Cornette inducted the Rock and Roll Express to the Hall of Fame kind of logic, maybe, but yeah, it does not make a whole lot of sense. Your worthy adversary is going to induct you. Okay, sure.
Well, I mean, who else are you going to get to do it? It's not like they're going to invite Hulk
Bischoff.
Hogan. No, they're not going to have Bischoff do it. They're not going to have Hogan do it. Speaking of people who won't be on the 25th anniversary of Raw, Hogan is persona non grata. They do not want him there.
But Bischoff will be there, will he not?
Yeah, Bischoff will.
Yeah. Bischoff would be the perfect person to induct Goldberg into the Hall of Fame.
I don't think they're inviting Bischoff back for Raw, but I don't think they have much to do with him other than that.
It's not like they have much to do with the Hall of Fame other than that one night a year either.
True. I mean, we're talking about this Hall of Fame like it's a legitimate, actual Hall of Fame with plaques on the wall and statues of people.
I mean, it's just completely a pomp and circumstance live event and TV show for all intents and purposes.
And it's not even like there's a distinguished panel of voters. It's just, hey, Vince McMahon says you should be in the Hall of Fame, you're in.
Well, who were they looking at this year? Goldberg headlining, the Dudleys, Kid Rock, and the Celebrity Wing. Mm-hmm. Ivory as the woman. Mm-hmm. I can't remember who else. There was one more person or two more people, and I can't find where I wrote it up. So
I'll see if I can dig it up on my news.
Enjoy it, Kid Rock. That'll be the only Hall of Fame you're going into.
He'll go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in probably about 10 years. They all do.
Okay, I've got what culture article that may answer this question? Oh shit, they broke it up into 5 pages. So I gotta scroll through each page. Ivory, who you already mentioned. Kid Rock, who you already mentioned. Bam Bam Bigelow, that's probably the one you were thinking
of.
Bam,
that's it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then the rest are ones
who
we
I
all
have
discussed.
To write up a piece tomorrow, because tomorrow is the anniversary of his death.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Sorry,
well,
that
let's get to some fun news.
Yeah, how about some fun news?
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe not fun for some people. For the next 3 years, Candice LeRae, Ricochet, and War Machine, who Peter Rosenberg said was one person today, are stuck with WWE.
Maybe he was confusing.
The man tweeted out. The man tweeted out.
Okay.
I wonder if War Machine will have to change his name now that he's with WWE.
To be fair, he's probably confusing the tag team with the pro fighter who got jailed for beating up his girlfriend.
No, because somebody corrected him and said War Machine is a tag team. They were the former IWGP Tag Team Champions. No, they're not. They're one. It's one person. They signed one person.
That's why
War
I'm thinking
Machine.
He's confusing
the guy with the beard.
That's why I'm thinking he's confusing John Copenhaver with the tag team. He may just.
He had a big old long beard that hung down to his belly.
No, Copenhaver did not. Well, he might.
Then no, he.
Copenhaver might now that he's been in prison for like 6 months. I haven't seen the guy lately.
Hopefully nobody's seen the guy lately.
Yeah, the less that we see of John Copenhaver, the better.
But yes, Ricochet, War Machine, and Candice LeRae have all been signed this week.
5 minutes after he gets to the main roster, Ricochet will be jobbing to Enzo Amore.
He doesn't have to worry about that. Leo Rush is doing all the jobs for him.
I hope the money was worth it, because your careers are about to go down the toilet.
Hey, personally,
and they really...
personally, I'm excited for all of them, especially given that I've seen most of these people on the indies well before they got signed. So, if I get a few good matches in NXT out of it, that's all I can ask for.
I mean, if this is their dream and this is what they want to do, then I am happy for them and wish them the best. But looking back at history and what they have done with 95% of the people in the indies that they've signed, I feel sorry for them because they're going to be disappointed, underutilized, misused, humiliated, embarrassed.
That's why I always say when people say Triple H is a genius, we should question that statement, because if he's really such a genius, then how come they sign all these great indie darlings and they end up being nothing before they even get to the main roster, or even less than nothing once they do?
Vince McMahon?
Yeah, but if Triple H has that much stroke, he should be able to do something about it. And apparently, he can't.
He ain't got that much stroke.
Well, the only guy he's been able to protect on the main roster lately is Kevin Owens. Other than that, no.
Billy Squire doesn't have that much stroke.
Nice.
I mean, the pecking order is Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, Stephanie McMahon. I think Hornswoggle is next. You know, the guy that always shows up dressed as Hulk Hogan in front row. Then there's the sign guy.
Then Ryan Ward.
And then there's Triple H. Yeah, that Ryan Ward.
Kevin Dunn.
I would say Kevin Dunn is number 2. But yeah, Triple H is like number 15 down the pecking order.
Yeah.
And you know it's got to piss him off because he's done a great job with NXT and a great job with building that brand with these indie talents that are so great and managing to keep most of them great. As long as they don't self-destruct like certain people like Leo Rush have.
Well, Leo Rush, his biggest fault was he tweeted before he thought. And he's been punished, and he continues to be punished for that.
His biggest fault is that he
idiot.
doesn't think. His biggest fault is that he's full of himself.
Well, there are a lot of people that are full of themselves. Yeah, and he's been that way
on the indies.
He needs to be humbled, just not in the Iron Sheik way.
The Sheik could break him like a twig. Even, you know,
I'm 2 minds about
unable
it,
to walk, he could snap him like a twig.
To be perfectly honest, though, why would you sign a guy that doesn't have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and a little bit of confidence? If you're going to be a good wrestler, you got to have a little swagger.
There's a difference between a little bit of swagger and thinking your shit doesn't stink.
And that's the thing with Leo Rush, what everyone has said about him.
Well, Leo Rush thinks in his mind that he can do no wrong.
Maybe what he really needed was to spend a year in the New Japan dojo having to clean and cook meals.
I don't want him anywhere near New Japan.
No, but if you want him to be humbled, they would have made him be the new young boy and do all the work that they wanted done.
I don't want Bill Goldberg anywhere near New Japan. I don't want Bobby Lashley anywhere near New Japan.
Yeah, well, speaking of your only going to work a few dates a year deals, that was the rumor for Bill Goldberg, is that he was going to do limited dates for New Japan, but now that he's going into the Hall of Fame, that's apparently on ice.
Good.
Well, he can't work with them anyway. I mean, hell, you look at Goldberg's what, 49, 50? How old is he? 48, 49, 50? And then you look at Nagata, who is the same age. You put those two in the ring together, Nagata will kill Goldberg.
So would Misawa, for that matter.
Kill him. Hmm?
A lot of people would kill him.
Yeah, but I'm talking the people in the same age group in New Japan would kill him.
Nakanishi,
he could not
Monster Morning.
How about Misu?
Yeah.
Misu would kill him.
That would be ugly. That would be ugly murder. That would not be beautiful murder. That would be ugly murder.
And now that Misu's bald, it's even scarier.
Still the
he
only
got his
man
head
who
shaved
could...
and he took that...
The only man who could
He took that towel off his head and I freaked.
Yeah. He's scarier now than he was before. That's a hard thing to do.
I know. know.
So, AAW has a show this weekend. Am I the only one who knew about it?
AAW, I'm trying to... Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, it's at Logan Square Auditorium in Chicago on Saturday night. Here's the card. The AAW Heavyweight Championship match is Rey Fenix and Matt Riddle. The Tag Team Championship match is Matt Fitchett and Davey Vega versus Shane Strickland and Keith Lee. The Killer Cult, which is Sami Callihan, Dave, and Jake Chris, take on David Starr, Trevor Lee, and Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb. Juice Robinson takes on MJF. Jessica Havoc and Kylie Ray takes on Allison Kay and Scarlett. Eddie Kingston goes against Kevin Lee Davidson. Jake Something and Kurt Stallion are wrestling Zero Gravity. ACH is wrestling Paco. And Myron Reed is wrestling Teddy Hart. It's a pretty damn good card.
I thought Teddy Hart was in jail.
Apparently he's out.
I thought he wasn't taking any dates because he was having to go to jail, basically.
All I can tell you is Dr. Keith Lipinski sent me this card and he's on it. Dr. Keith usually knows what he's talking about.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you hate Sami Callihan, so that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I
which,
wouldn't spit on that motherfucker if he was on fire.
apparently Pop TV wouldn't either because his Barbed Wire Massacre match isn't airing on Impact tonight.
Is there
Good
a
for
story
Pop
behind
TV.
that, or did they just decide not to do it arbitrarily?
They just decided it was too violent for Pop TV, so they're going to air it on Twitch.
Oh, yay.
What's the deal with Impact and Twitch? Have they actually announced a partnership yet, or?
Yeah, they did. I got a press release about it.
I didn't get a press release from them. I've asked for press releases from them.
Well, here
But,
it is. I'll read you a snippet of it. I won't read you the whole damn thing. Impact, a subsidiary of Anthem Sports and Entertainment, announced the launch of a new channel on Twitch, the world's leading social video service.
Oh, I got that. Yeah, I got that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I remember. I'm on Xanax, man. I'm telling you, my brain's kind of fuzzy.
The thing that
I've
bothered
written
me
so
about
much historical shit this week. It's just, ask me anything about Mae Young, Luna Vachon, Ivan Koloff, Bruno Sammartino, or the original Sheik, and I am good to go. Anything that happened 20 minutes ago, I have forgotten.
The thing that bothered me about this press release was that they said as part of their lineup, they would have live audio wrestling on Monday nights as a weekly video podcast. I'm like, excuse me, do not call it live audio wrestling. That is an insult to Jason Agnew, Dan the Mouth Levansky, John Pollock, Wei Ting. That is an insult to everybody that used to work there, that you still call it live audio wrestling. Fuck you.
Oh, well. Fuck that out. That's our motto.
Speaking of, the very first thing they showed on their Twitch channel was the TNA NWA pay-per-view from June 19, 2002. So if you want to see where Fuck That Al started, tune into Twitch.
Oh, that was the very first one, the very first weekly Wednesday pay-per-view.
Yeah.
All right, that was a great era for TNA. They just went downhill from there.
Well, if you consider a great era being Ken Shamrock as world champion, then sure. Go ahead.
Speaking of Fuck That Al, what do we think of Broken Woken Matt Hardy?
Well, I'm glad that they finally came to terms and he owns the entire Broken universe now. Good for him, good for them.
Yeah, but what about what he's doing on WWE? Is it working? Is it not working? Is it somewhere in the middle?
Well, he hasn't gone balls to the wall with it yet. I mean, Rebby's not there, and Maxwell isn't there, and Brother Nero isn't there. You can't really say that it's working if he hasn't gone all in on it.
Well, they couldn't be there because he didn't own the rights yet, and now he does.
I'll say this much, if it's going to be done anywhere, WWE is the place to do it. I wouldn't want to see this in ROH. I wouldn't want to see this in New Japan. If there's anywhere to do this hokey, broken, woken universe shit, it's in WWE.
Senior Benjamin did tweet Triple H and ask for his shovel.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one thing.
And Matt Hardy and Vanguard One are tweeting each other, so there's that.
Yeah, but God, that 10-minute video of Hardy just laughing, that's creepy.
Yeah.
That was creepier than clowns. Yeah, that right there. And clowns creep me the fuck out, but that was creepier than clowns.
I'm amused by the whole thing. And no, it's not as good as it was in Impact Wrestling, but that's because it was less formatted in Impact Wrestling. It was basically them getting together with Jeremy Borash and saying, what the hell can we do? Well, this is Impact. Nobody cares, so we can do anything we want. WWE is going to be a little more structured than that.
Yeah. Speaking of Impact, do we know if Don Callis is actually going to Impact? And Josh, what's his face, is leaving?
Josh Matthews is going to be the manager for Matt Sydal. That's the last I knew.
Creepy yoga boy.
But Don Callis
I
and
keep
Scott
hearing
D'Amore,
that Don Callis
and Scott D'Amore are running the creative now. They're like vice president and lead creative whatever, head of creative writing.
As long as Don Callis stays the fuck away from New Japan, I'm good.
Okay, then. But
no, I mean, the thing with him, he was not the person you wanted English-speaking fans to be introduced to New Japan by. He wasn't. He was that bad. He was that insulting and humiliating and degrading to the talent, and it just wasn't good.
Well, I'm going to have to just say, one, I like Don Callis, and two, I wasn't listening to his commentary anyway because I was listening to the Japanese audio.
I wasn't either, but I have followers that did saying, why do you listen to this English crap? I don't. This is why I don't.
Yeah, you're missing half the broadcast if you're watching the English commentary.
Yeah, I mean, once he called Yano a retard, it was like, oh, hell no, you are on the top of my shit list.
Well, before we go too far down that beaten path, let's go back to Impact for a second, because I have to address something that happened to a former guest of our show. Apparently, and this is only if you take the word of the people who said it, so we should ask her ourselves, but apparently Hanaya the Huntress was fired because she refused to go out and do a job to Su Yung in a 90-second match.
Ouch.
Yeah, I read that today, too.
To me, that just screams incompetence on the part of Impact Wrestling, that they would, one, expect her to do a 90-second job, and that, two, they would fire her over not doing it. It's like, that's not using your talent effectively.
No, but Su Yung is a name, and Su Yung is very popular, and Su Yung is someone you want to keep around. And if they want to build her up, then it's kind of like the whole Asuka deal. You don't want to go out there and have Su Yung wrestle a 15-minute match. You want her to go out there and dominate, beat the shit out of somebody, and pin them in a minute or two.
Well, I'm not saying Su Yung isn't a name, but half the people who have heard of her because of her domestic disturbance with Rich Swann. And to me, that puts her and Hanaya on equal footing in terms of people knowing who they are, because they're both indie wrestlers with a following.
I don't. Sue's a lot more popular than that.
Well, Sue
She's
hasn't been on our
known a
show,
lot
and
more.
Hanaya has, so I'm biased.
Well, at least you admit you're biased.
I'm not going to pretend I'm not, but, I mean, unless you watch, like, every Shine show ever, how is Su Yung a bigger name? She's not.
Well, she wrestles in more than Shine.
Again,
and she's all over.
can't say that I watch everything that she's in then, because I'm not seeing her that much. I see more Women of Honor than I see Sue Young.
And you barely see them.
Well, they're putting
And I'm
matches
just
up
saying
on
that
YouTube
as a
every single week.
general, I'm saying that as a general, comment. Everybody barely sees them.
Yeah, they're getting
Which
more
is
exposure
sad.
on a week-to-week basis. They've got this Women of Honor tournament that's going to be going on this month and coming into the months that come.
It's about damn time they had a title belt.
The only thing that doesn't make sense to it, as far as I'm concerned, is Brandy Rhodes being in the tournament.
Can you say Cody?
I mean, I get that's why she's there, but I just don't see her as on the talent level of any of the other people in the tournament.
Well, I mean, she trained in FCW. It's not like she's an untrained talent, but, I mean, you're right, she's not on the same level as others, but...
I mean, could she go out there and, work a confident match and do the job? Probably, but... To me, that's not the point of a tournament. It's like, a tournament should be the best of the best all going against each other.
Yeah, but it's Ring of Honor. They put on really good wrestling, but they're not the smartest promotion in the world.
But you could say that about a dozen indie promotions. I don't feel like that's...
I can say that about every promotion in the world. They all do something stupid.
Yeah, even WWE, with all the money and all the talent they have, they still do stupid things all the fucking time.
Have you seen Okada's pants? I mean, damn.
Okada's pants, Tanahashi's hair. They're stupid to go around there.
I'll have to send y'all the gift. He was in a match, I think. Okada was teaming when they were in Mexico for that leg of the Fantastica Mania tour with Ultimo Guerrero. And Okada was raising the roof. Literally doing the moves and the dance and everything. And it's like, my God, those pants are so tight. They are cutting off the blood supply to his brain. He's just fucking lost it.
I don't know. I think I could deal with Okada raising the roof. That to me is no problem.
Oh, God. Well, last year he danced with a stuffed monkey, so.
Which reminds me, Michelle actually asked me this week. She said, "What's the name of that cat?" And I'm like, "What cat?" She's like, the one that Abby absolutely loves that the wrestler in New Japan came out with. I'm like, "You're talking about Daryl."
She doesn't know Daryl?
I kind of chastised her for that. I was like, "Yeah, that's Daryl. You're talking about Daryl."
Oh, there is a new Daryl. There is Lucha Daryl Jr.
I explained that.
He has
to
a
her.
mask and everything.
I told her that. I was like, "There is Daryl Jr. now." And she's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, he wears a mask like Mysterio."
And he has sparkly eyes, which is kind of weird.
If they could make a Daryl
Yeah.
Jr. and send it, not $5,000 or whatever Daryls were going for a while, but if it was $20 or $30, I'd buy a Daryl Jr.
Stevie, did you see what New Japan came out with for this season of Bears? They did the Okada and the Nakamura Bear, then they did the Naito and the Kenny Bear. You know what they've done this year?
No.
Every member of Los Ingobernables.
Oh, nice.
Evil has his own bear.
Oh.
And it's a good looking damn bear.
Oh, you're killing me now.
Bushi has his own bear. Bushi has his own bear that you can unmask.
Oh.
Takahashi has his own bear with a different colored hair. Sonata has his own bear with a mohawk.
Wait. Does Takahashi's bear have the robe that he was wearing at Wrestle Kingdom 12? Because I'd have to have that bear.
I think so.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and Evil has his robe.
Oh.
Evil has the robe with the cross with the purple ponytail.
Does he have the purple
I'll have to send you a
eyeliner
picture
too?
of all the bears.
Does he have the purple?
Huh?
Does the bear have purple eyeliner as well?
I don't know. I didn't look that close. I'll have to send the picture to you so you can see him.
Does he have a sky too? That would be awesome. And laser fingers.
Yes.
I don't think that Evil Bear comes with laser fingers.
Oh.
But he does come with the
You could
sky.
buy them for him.
Okay, we've gone pretty far afield now, so let's bring it back to the news.
We've gone through pretty much all of the news.
I feel like there's a couple of things we didn't
Something
get to.
interesting I'm seeing on New Japan's site that I may have to check out on Monday with Fantasticomania. They're also going to have Spanish commentary on Monday, January 22nd show. So
I took 4 years of Spanish. I remember como te llamo. That's it. And no hablo español. That's it.
¿Dónde está la cerveza?
Es aquí.
¿Dónde está el baño?
Over there, man. But yeah, I want to see how well the CMLL guys do. I may give that a listen. If it completely sucks, I'll just switch back to the Japanese commentary on the Fire Stick TV app.
Well, here's one piece of news that we haven't covered. Mark Henry. Is he retired or is he not? Apparently, he's now a WWE ambassador.
What does that even mean?
That means, like, you show up at the Hall of Fame and you show up at autograph things and you just kind of, you're around but you're not wrestling.
When's the last time he was in a match?
WrestleMania last year.
It has been a while.
Yep, that was his last official appearance, was that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
That was part of a battle royal. So when was his last match that was not part of a battle royal? When was his last match proper?
Well before that. I don't know how long before WrestleMania, but it was some point before that.
He's not even someone who comes up on my radar when I think of active WWE wrestlers or superstars or whatever they call them.
That's how this whole thing started, because somebody unearthed a clip of him doing an interview last year, like Survivor Series weekend, I want to say, and in it he said, well, I'm mostly retired now. Maybe I'll come back someday if somebody calls out my name and I need to put a whooping on that ass, but otherwise I'm good. I want to stay home with my kids. And so people were going, is he retired? He said that he was mostly retired. And then apparently somebody, Brian or Dave, said that he was unofficially retired by WWE. They just never had the ceremony where they gave him a gold watch and thanked him for all his years of service. So then it was like, okay, well, he is retired. And the moment that got out, then Mark Henry was like, oh, hell no, I'm not retired. Who said that? They're lying.
There's no telling who and what anybody is in WWE. I think they're all aliens.
Well, that's my last bit of news. So if you want to do cheap plugs, Abby, go right ahead.
You can find me at Top Rope Press, where I'm pretty much back to the only person writing shit again. You can find me on Twitter at Abby A. Let's see, what streaming service do I want to plug? New Japan World, always. The best 999 yen you can spend every month. And I will plug Progress on Demand because Progress is just great and Jim Smallman is incredible. If you haven't seen Jim Smallman open a show or work a show, you have got to see him do a Progress show because he is just great.
Jason, what do you have to plug?
I'll plug myself on Twitter at Great Sudoku. I will also plug njpwworld.com. It's the best 999 yen you can spend a month. And I will plug a podcast that both you and I listen to, Stevie. I will once again plug the CU podcast.
That's right. I just got a new episode on my iTunes feed today.
And they talk about porn.
Yeah, like in the very first 10 minutes of the show, they're discussing this old stash that Pat found while he was moving out.
Well, not only that, they also discuss the top 10 video game related porn searches.
Yeah, and they managed to thoroughly creep Ian out to the point where he's like, Don't
done.
look up. Yeah, he's like, I'm done. We're not
You
saying
finish
anymore.
this segment. I'm done. I've said all I have to say.
I think they jumped the shark when they started talking about Overwatch porn, and that was when he was like, nope, I'm not saying
And
anything else.
that was right at the beginning of the segment too. They let off with that.
Y'all listen and watch some weird shit.
Not denying that. But speaking of which, if you want to watch some weird, fun, cool, and nerdy shit like CU Podcast, you can subscribe to youtube.com/MMF187. I have to hit 1,000 subscribers by February 20th, or all of my videos lose their ad revenue. Right now, I'm at 441. So if I can get 550 more people and change to subscribe between now and February 20th, that would help me a whole hell of a lot. So please tell a friend and subscribe, because I need that ad revenue from those videos to help fund Angry Marks. So with that out of the way, that's Thursday Night AMP. Thanks for listening. This has been Stevie J, Abby, and Jason, aka Great Sudoku, saying thanks for listening, and we'll see you after Fantasticamania and before the Royal Rumble. Good night, everybody.